Hey there, boss fam. Welcome to episode 94. I am Jenny and I help squirrel brained entrepreneurs thrive in a world of shiny objects. If your to do list is overwhelming or your I help statement is all over the place and it gets in the way of you doing the thing, then I am so happy you have found your way to this podcast. I hope you're ready for some real talk today, fam. I have been, I guess you could say, prattling on for a while now about how I don't love social media. In fact, episode 71 is called How to Break Up with Meta and Still Grow Your Audience. And here's the thing, I don't like it because the return on investment is so low. First of all, actual ROI is nearly impossible to gauge because there's no real standard way to measure it. And come to find out, Instagram doesn't even show up on my website's Google Analytics unless you embed a special tag on every single page of your website. Gross. However, I can look at my link in bio as a referral source and see that I got a whopping one visit from Instagram in the last month. One visit. Oh my God. It's just so frustrating. Do you agree? Like, it can take 2 hours sometimes to make a reel, like find the trending audio and get the audio to sync up properly and get the captions on there correctly. And then sometimes they glitch. Like, a lot of times they glitch. They don't match up the way they did when you uploaded the video. And then you have to delete and start over. And personally, I don't even have the option to add captions on reels anymore. They took that functionality away from me. That sticker does not exist. I'm not even kidding. I also can't see trending audio anymore either. I have reported both of these problems like 100 times to them. And I figured the more annoying I was, the more likely they were to fix it. Totally wrong. So just tell me it's not evil. Write to me and tell me how happy you are to be a dancing monkey for an algorithm that changes the second you feel like you're starting to figure it out and hit your stride. Please, just one person. Make it make sense. It's our generation's version of medieval torture. Like, I'm convinced that they're all sitting around, tenting their fingers and cackling maniacally about how they can just keep us all constantly trying to figure it out and in this rat race of like trying to keep up with the algorithm. So if you are like me and you are tired of that energetic and time investment, or let's say you've like run an ad on Instagram and had very little return from that. Same with Facebook. Facebook's even worse these days. And you're wondering where you could put your efforts that would actually put money in your pocket. Email is where it's at. So don't jump ship. Even if you hate writing email, this is such an important episode if you want to be successful in online business. And I made you something that will help you stop hating writing email. And dare I say, even start enjoying it a little bit. So stick around to the end and I will tell you how to get your hands on that. So you may have heard that email is dead. I do not know who is saying that, but it is a goddamn lie. The most recent statistics from Neil Patel, who's like super famous and has a marketing agency that helps people do search engine optimization and all of the things, show that email has a 42% ROI. So for every dollar invested in your email list, your email service provider, your own energetic investment, you get a $42 return on that. So I don't know about you, but if I could spend an hour making a reel or an hour writing an email, I want the $42 return on investment. So here's the thing. You need email even if you have a tiny list or no list. Just start. Start today. I will tell you how in just a minute. Email is what you need, even if you think no one wants to hear from you all that much. And I will help you with that too. Email is what you need, even if you go through spurts of creativity and then get stuck for months and can't produce. Obviously, consistency is best, Natch. And you definitely don't want to ghost for like 6 months because then they won't even know who the heck you are. But I get new subscribers in trickles every single week just by existing. I mean, sure, I'm making content all the time, but a lot of what's already out there is drawing people in without any additional effort on my part. It's totally passive, which brings me to my best point. Email is what you need, even if you're lazy. Why? Because you can rinse and repeat with an autoresponder series, which is much like the welcome sequence that I describe in episode 79 and break down exactly what to do in what order. You write it once and it legit nurtures every new person who subscribes to your list. And when I say nurture, I mean that it builds that know, like, and trust, which is a thing that has to happen before people will buy from you. They have to feel like they know you and they can trust you and that the stuff that you make is good. They have to feel like they're your buddy. And that's what autoresponders do with you only having to do the work one time. And you can recycle things. If you write a blog post that people respond really well to, or even a social media post that you like, I know I said social media, that people really respond to, and you can flesh it out into a little bit more of an email newsletter, then you can stick that in your welcome sequence so that new people get it too. And that's one less welcome sequence email you have to write. You also don't have to send long messages. In fact, most people don't really love long messages. Like, you have to build up a lot of trust that your emails are worth reading before you send really long emails if you expect them to get open and to get read. Just send some small tip, a question to make them think, a quick story that you suspect might be relatable to your audience. That's literally all you need to keep yourself present in their minds and in their lives. Nobody ever will unsubscribe if your email is too short. And here are even more reasons an email list is your most valuable business asset. People on your email list are raising their hands to hear from you. You're not sneaking into their feed or sliding into their DMs. You invited them and they said yes. Plus, it's intimate. If you write your emails correctly, and don't worry, I will tell you how, they will feel like a one-on-one conversation every single time. And you can customize what you send, at least with ConvertKit you can. And you can get a free 14-day trial of ConvertKit at jennyo'connor.com/ConvertKit. I love them. You've heard me talk about this before if you've been around for a while. I tried 3 different email service providers before I found ConvertKit: Sendinblue, GetResponse, MailChimp. I was attracted to MailChimp initially because you could use like the free account. All of them made me want to tear my hair out in varying degrees of tearing out my hair. ConvertKit, never. They have the best customer service. They're super responsive. Even if you want, like, you need an answer right now, you can go to their library of resources and they write their explanations of how to do things for like a kindergartner. Like, even someone who is as untech savvy as me, I can figure out most things without even having to reach out to their customer service. They are so like, they're my favorite platform of all the platforms that I use and pay for. And if you have a small list, like if you are just starting out and it's under 300, I think it's $15 a month. That is a small price to pay for being able to do all of the things I am about to tell you about. So you can customize what goes out, which is perfect for you if you're multi-passionate, because it means that you can segment your audience into the people who want to hear about tarot and want to hear about storytelling, and then the people who might want to buy your photographs. You can send all of those people completely different emails if you want to. Liesl Cahill, who I interviewed in episode 34, writes books in multiple and drastically different genres, and she's able to only email the people who care about historical romance about her upcoming historical romance novel. Literally, ConvertKit was made for multi-passionate people. And you can easily let people opt out of certain email topics, like something you're promoting that people either don't want or have already bought, or a challenge that they've already done with you. You can create a custom unsubscribe, again, with ConvertKit that is super easy to do, that lets them just leave that segment of your list, but not your entire list. They don't have to break up with you completely. And P.S., literally nothing makes me more irate than people not using this feature and resending me the same promotional emails. Like, if you do that, you are dead to me. So here's a really, really important statistic for you to internalize. Email reaches an average of 79% of the people that you send it to. And if you are doing everything right, and I will explain to you how to do that, and ConvertKit will also explain to you how to do that, your average will be much higher. 79% for email compared to Instagram's organic reach of about 13.5%. Whoa. And Facebook's is 8.6. How about them apples? That right there is enough of a reason. Like if you only have so many hours in the day, where do you want to spend them? Also, you can see who clicked on what links. So it lets you know who's interested in that thing you just built, and then you can email just that group. I did this for my last promotion of the Dream Job Academy. I sent a special email to the 10 people who had clicked on that link and said, this is just for you because you showed interest, and offered them a special deal and got a whole bunch more people to buy. Like, this is an absolutely brilliant marketing tactic. If you do this, if you segment people in these ways and send special emails to special people, this can increase your open rates by as much as 40 to 50%, you guys, or more. You can also resend an email to all the people who haven't opened it. Now, this might seem obnoxious, but no one, not even your mom, opens all your emails. And most people don't even notice it's the same email, but there are some pro tips for using this in particular. I suggest you wait 5 to 7 days, because too soon and you risk that they just haven't gotten around to reading their emails yet. And then they will see 2 of the same email from you. And that is in fact annoying. You can give the duplicate email a new subject line. Or you can use the old subject line with a regarding, so regarding, and then put the old subject line in quotes regarding that last email. And then in the first sentence, you can say, sending this again, hoping you'll catch it this time. The last thing to remember if you're going to utilize this particular method is to not do this all the time. Don't do it for every single newsletter email that you send out. Save it for the really special emails that you really want people to open. Another reason that you need email in your life, as I mentioned before, you can sell things passively. Again, you just need to set up a sequence which effectively funnels your people to the end game of making a purchase. But that can be triggered by them downloading one of your free irresistible offers, aka your lead magnets, and it can completely happen on autopilot while you sleep. My podcasting coach sold a $4,000 package without ever even having to get on a sales call, you guys, all through an autoresponder sequence. So, have I convinced you yet that you need an email list and that if you have one, you need to be optimizing it better? Are you ready to invest in a strategy that will actually pay off, that is predictable, and that creates an asset that you own? An email list that you own versus a social media account that can get hacked or shut down, or if Instagram and Facebook go dark for a day, can screw up your entire life? Yes? Okay. Here is how it's done. Step 1 is to go and sign up at ConvertKit, jennyo'connor.com/ConvertKit, utilize the free trial. And then if it goes into $15 a month, that is a small price to pay for the ROI that you are going to get if you invest and double down in this strategy. If you are just starting out, you need some people on your list. Get your mom on your list. Text 10 of your friends and say, hey, I'm doing research on, interested in starting to learn more about the topic of XYZ. Is that something you'd be interested in learning more about? And if they say yes, then say, would you mind if I put you on my email list? And then you'll get periodic notifications when I publish a new post, or when I have a new insight, or when I learn something cool, or when I create a new life hack that you really need to know about. I'm going to caveat this because this is how I started my email list. Your friends love you. They'll say yes. That's what happened to me. My mom broadcast it to all of her friends. So I have a ton of my mom's friends on my email list. And over time, it became clear to me that no one in my world really cares about this stuff. Like, none of my people are online entrepreneurs. In fact, not that many of my people are really that into self-development. So the fact that so many of these people have stayed with me for so long is really impressive and is a testament to how much they love me. And I feel very, very grateful for that. But the thing is, it decreases your open rates if people eventually grow bored with the information that you're sending them. And all of those numbers affect your deliverability. So this is sort of, I feel like one foot in and one foot out of this particular approach to building your list. If you are brand new, it helps to have someone to write to. Knowing that someone is going to be receiving these emails and ideally opening them will give you the little push that you need to write and write consistently. However, you may get to the point where I'm now at, where I kind of need to scrub my list and get rid of these people who maybe never open them. If they do open them, have zero interest in buying. I mean, like my mom's retired friends are not going to buy one of my services ever. They don't care about growing an email list. So the real way, the way that makes more sense is just a little bit more time consuming is to make a lead magnet. So you can start with the method. The way I was taught was text 10 friends and the next day text 10 more friends and the next day text 10 more friends. And then you end up with a list of like 50, possibly even 100. And then you just like have some momentum and you're excited to write to people and people will open them because they love you and that's great. But I might, now that I know what I know, invest that time up front in making a lead magnet and then doing all of the other things that I'm about to outline for you here. So what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is your free, irresistible offer. I talk all about them in episode 75, the different types that you can make. And I created a free download that you guys can get that shows you pictures and includes links to these different types of lead magnets, specifically the ones that I have. And I have a bunch of different lead magnets. So you can check out a bunch of different kinds and learn what's important about them and then where you need to put them. But I'm also going to explain that here. So if you are going to the trouble of still making social media posts. And like, here's the thing, you guys, you do you. If social media makes you happy, keep doing social media. I just think that if you're investing, if that's like your sole marketing strategy, you are leaving money on the table. But I'm not suggesting you abandon it altogether unless you want to, which is kind of what I want to do. But anyway, so if you're going to the trouble of making social media posts, add getting your lead magnet as the call to action in those posts. Do that constantly, like maybe not every single post, but at least every other post. And heck, if you can find a way to work it into every single one, work it into every single one. Also, put it as that link in your little bio section at the top of your Instagram profile. Or if you have a link in bio that has several different buttons, make it the top button in your link in bio profile. Then if you have a website, put opt-ins all over your website. Literally every single page needs to have an opt-in on it. And ConvertKit can help you with this. They have a bunch of different kinds of what they call pop-ups. So there's like a sticky bar, which is at the very, very top of the page. If you go to my website, you'll see what that means. It's basically as you're scrolling down the page, it stays stuck to the top of the page, no matter where you are. There are the pop-ups that show up after 5 seconds of a user being on your page. There's the one that slides in from one side. There's one called an exit intent pop-up. So if someone goes to click the X out button and leave, it's like, wait, don't go. Don't you want my free thing that's super amazing? So you've got all those various options. So you can use different ones on different pages. You can use different ones for different lead magnets. But if you only have one lead magnet, that's okay. Start there, but start now. Then the next thing that you really need to do, and this is the important thing, and this is the one that everyone sort of hides from doing, you need to get visible. You have to. You are going to grow faster. I promise you, like going viral is not a strategy. Going viral on Instagram is not a strategy. And even if you are lucky enough to go viral, most of the people who follow you are not really interested in your stuff. It was a one-off, it was a fluke, and they're not going to ever buy from you. This is the real way to grow your email list. Getting visible, guesting on podcasts. This is such an easy one. There are so many new podcasts out there that are just getting started who need guests. Even if you feel like you're kind of a newbie in the industry, you have a little bit more to learn, they don't care. They're a new podcast. Get out there. Get on those shows, talk about what you know and what you're great at, and offer a gift at the end. Any good podcast host will be like, tell us where we can find you and what you have to offer my audience. And that gift will be the link to your free offer, which they will exchange their email address for. So I'm doing an episode soon on where to find shows to guest on, what you should talk about, and how to be an amazing person to interview, because not everybody is good at being interviewed, you guys. And I've learned a lot of tricks and tips after nearly 100 episodes about what makes a good podcast guest. So stay tuned for that episode. It is coming very soon. You can also write guest posts and pitch them to publications that allow you to put a bio with a link in them. And then that link will be to your freebie. You can also guest speak on real stages, virtual stages, in virtual summits, or in your friends and colleagues' programs. Offer to do a free workshop in a course that a friend of yours is running that you happen to know. It's like similar topics, but you don't teach the exact same thing, and cross promote to each other's audiences. Like, that's just such a smart way to leverage the people that you know. I'm going to caveat this though. If you get asked to speak at a summit, they will often want to know, or they will often want you to have a pretty substantial list. So this is both a way to grow, and it is also necessary for getting bigger so that you can then get invited to bigger and bigger summits. Does that make sense? Like, you can definitely start small with other people who are sort of at the same level as you, like business acquaintances and friends in your immediate circle, and then work up to the big dogs. But grow your list. This is one of the ways. And then people will seek you out as your list gets bigger and bigger to come and speak on their stages. When you write a review or a testimonial, even say in Apple Podcasts, for example, include your name. When I review someone in Apple Podcasts, I write my name and the name of my show, host of Multi-Passionate Like a Boss. Sometimes what you write will spark curiosity and people will look you up. So if you don't have a podcast, include your name in your title, but don't just include your name, because that's probably not going to spark curiosity, right? But your name and magical unicorn of creativity, whatever your title is, put it after your name, and then maybe someone will look you up based on that. And then they will get to your website, which is covered in opt-ins. Yep. This also means over time, and I just mentioned this, that you will probably want to create multiple opt-ins, but I don't want you to get hung up on that right now. If you create one good one, that is plenty to get started with, but don't ever think that you should just have one if there's potential for so many others. If there's multiple facets of what you teach people that they kind of need to learn in order to get to the next step where they would want to work with you, then create, my resources library has probably 6 or 7 kind of evergreen lead magnets. And then I make a lead magnet that goes with the podcast episode. So I have another 25 that are episode specific lead magnets. But for now, just make one great lead magnet and get going. You can also write a blog post called My Top 5 Tips for Such and Such, and make the best tip what is called gated content. So save the very best one and then make it such that in order to read that tip, the user has to enter their email address, and then you will send it to them. This one's kind of mean. I don't personally use it. I certainly wouldn't do it all the time. If you do use it, I feel like I would just put in my email to get the thing and then unsubscribe because I think you're a jerk. But there are a lot of people that utilize this with a lot of success. So I had to put it on this list. Do with this information what you will. You can partner with other people. Like I said, be in a virtual summit or share one of your workshops in a course that your friend happens to be running at this particular moment. But make use of your network, partnering with people, promoting each other, and affiliating for one another. That allows you to leverage each other's audiences. So let me pause here and tell you about the magic of affiliate marketing. You can make a whole entire living out of affiliate marketing if you partner with the right people. So people like Amy Porterfield and Marie Forleo and many others with multiple $1,000 courses, these people offer 50% of the program cost to you as your affiliate commission. But this only works if you have an audience to market to. You dig? You see what I'm saying here? So the bigger your audience, the more you can make via affiliate marketing. The bigger your audience, the more appealing you will be to partner with and put on a virtual summit. You need to have a big audience, and this is the way to do it, you guys. You can also put a link to your newsletter in your email signature. So in Gmail, you can create a signature. I'm sure most of you know how to do this already. This seems way too simple to work, but it works. Can count on at least one hand how many times this has worked. And I was like, no way that worked, but it actually does. You can start a Facebook group and make one of the questions you must answer to join when you're like, please answer these 3 questions and then we'll approve you to come into our group. You can make the question, what's your email address? I don't like this. Again, this is another one that I don't use. Because Facebook, I don't like Facebook. I don't like social media, but especially Facebook and Instagram, both of them. Meta in general, just evil, bane of my existence. But I also don't like this because it feels like you have to give your email in order to join the group. Like unless you explain. So I joined a group recently that I felt like did this really well. It said, I have this free download. Would you like it in exchange for your email? And you could answer yes or no. And I was like, no, I'm good. So I didn't give them my email. That at least gives the person a choice. And this is really important. Email marketing is permission-based marketing. It is actually illegal to put anyone on your list who hasn't given you permission. Now, if you're texting friends in the very beginning to get started and they say, yeah, you can go in and just put them in because they've said, yeah, you don't have to have like a paper trail of that conversation or anything. But there are a lot of compliance issues once you get up and running, like GDP. Is that what it is? GDP, which is the European Union's compliance regulations. There's like an extra checkbox that people have to fill out and like a double opt-in. Once they've opted in, then it's like confirm your email address to prove you want to be on this list. All of that is put in place to protect the consumer, to ensure that they have actually given you permission to write to them, to market to them, to sell to them. So that's never put anyone on your list who hasn't given you permission. Like if you go to a live event and you have people write email addresses down, that becomes a little bit sketch because it's like, I would way rather say like, here's a QR code, go to this link, pop your email address in there because then they have done it on their end. Rather than a stranger who's just like, oh yeah, feel free. Like, I don't like that. I don't like how that gets you into a sticky gray area. So that's why putting it as a question to get into your Facebook group is kind of another one. Like you decide what you want to do with it. I don't personally use it. You can host a summit, like a virtual summit. I'm sure you guys have attended some of these. You can host one yourself. Now, I'm not going to tell you that they're not lots of work because they are, but you can also get thousands of emails at one time because you are leveraging multiple other people's lists at one time. But here again is a situation where you want to find people at your level because often someone with a massive audience will not want to be a part of your summit if you have like 27 people on your list plus your mom, that totally makes sense, right? So that is all the more reason to invest more energy in growing your audience now. And the last thing you can do, you can get your colleagues with similar audiences to share your lead magnet. And I really like this idea. Here again, these are collaborations. These aren't people that are direct competitors with you, but like they teach one thing and you teach something that would make a really good supplement or a really good add-on. Feature their lead magnet in your newsletter and have them feature yours in theirs. To make this really easy, if you're going to ask people to do you a favor of this nature, make it click of a button easy. So to do this, create what's called swipe copy, which is essentially a draft of an email that they can just copy and paste and send to their people. Tell them that you would be happy with a PS at the bottom of their next newsletter that just has the link to your lead magnet in it. But if they don't have anything to write about this week, they can also use the whole body copy that you're sending them. But you do the legwork, so it is just like as simple for them as clicking a button. Cool, copy, paste, go, we're done. All right. So those are a ton of ideas for you guys to help you figure out how to grow your email list. But the point is, get started now, get started yesterday. Doesn't matter if your mom is the only person on there. And if having numbers is going to be the thing that gets you to actually sit down, butt in chair and write the emails, then do the thing I suggested. Text 10 friends today, text 10 friends tomorrow. Keep going until you run out of friends. Have your mom send it to all of her friends so that they can all be on your email list too. Do whatever it takes to get you to actually start writing on a consistent basis to your people. But double down on the really, really irresistible lead magnet, and then grow in all of the ways that I just suggested. So that is a wrap, you guys. If you stayed all the way to the end of this episode, I promised you a present. You can get that present at jennyo'connor.com/email. And what it is, you guys, is my free guide about how to write better email the easy way. So I'm going to make it way more simple than you ever even realized. Seriously, you will never stare at a blank page or a blinking cursor and sweat ever again, because this is going to make it actual child's play to get these things written. And then there's a bunch of tips, pro tips, like how to write a subject line that people want to open. I have the coolest resources for you in there. So that's available at jennyo'connor.com/email. Go download that and start on this today, you guys. I cannot drive the importance of this home enough. If you ever want to ask me a question about this or anything else and effectively get laser coaching from me for free, send me a message on Instagram at Jenny the Wordsmith. And I know I said no social media and I hate it, but it is still the easiest way to reach me. So it's always going to be my little CTA at the end of every episode. Come send me a DM on Instagram until they shut me down completely, which is probably inevitable. And you can send me a text message or even a voice message. Now that you can do that in the DMs, just send me a voice message and be like, Jenny, I don't know how to do this thing. Can you help me do this thing? If you do that, I will answer your question on the air and shout out your business in a future episode. So this is a great way to get eyeballs on your business. It's free exposure, and it might drive some folks to look you up and opt into your list if your business sounds intriguing, and I can help you with that. I can help you with all of that. The messaging, the emailing, send me questions. I know you guys have questions. So go download my Write Better Emails guide. Get going on this. It's important. It matters. I'm pretty sure it's the only way I've ever sold my stuff, but I can't be certain because, again, I can't track my stupid Instagram analytics. I never knew I had to do coding in order to track that, but I can see email clicks, and I know I'm right. I know I'm right about this. So my email list is the sole way that I make money. And until next time, remember that email has the ability many social channels don't to create a personal touch at scale. Now get on out there and do the thing.